The elusive obvious. Given that we have this tremendous power of our minds available to us, why are we struggling? If your brain is indeed so magnificent, why are overload, distraction, forgetfulness, and feelings of inadequacy affecting us so much? How do we reconcile the fact that we have so much potential but have days where we can't remember a simple name or think our way out of a paper bag? The answer is so simple, it's almost elusive, obvious. We were not taught how. Give a person an idea and you enriched their day, Teach a person how to learn and they can enrich their entire life. School is a great place to learn. There, we are taught what to learn, what to think, what to remember, but there are few, if any, classes on how to learn, how to think, and how to remember. In his seminal book on education, Creative Schools, Sir Ken Robinson says, one of my most deepest concerns is that while education systems around the world are being reformed, many of these reforms are being driven by political and commercial interests that misunderstand how real people learn and how great schools actually work. As a result, as they are damaging the prospects of countless young people. Sooner or later, for better or for worse, they will affect you or someone you know. My guess is that they have already affected you and everyone close to you. As you already know, my own experience with the education system was a complicated one. I acknowledge that my circumstances were unusual. In reality, though, even if I'd never had that faithful headroom in kindergarten, I would probably have gotten much less out of my school education that was ideal. That's because very few schools anywhere in the world have incorporated learning how to learn into their curriculums. They'll fill us with information, they'll expose us to great works of literature and to figures who changed the course of civilization. They will test us, sometimes endlessly, to determine whether we can repeat back what they've taught us. But they won't get underneath all of this to teach us how to teach ourselves, to make enriching our minds, discovering new concepts, and truly absorbing what we learn fundamental to our everyday lives. This is not about placing the blame on the teachers who work hard to teach our children. In my opinion, teachers are some of the most caring, compassionate, and capable human beings in our society. In fact, my mother became a teacher after my brain injury because I was struggling so much and she wanted to help me and others like me. The problem lies in the outdated system in which teachers work. If R.I.P. Van Winkle woke up from decades of slumber, the only thing he would recognize today was our classrooms because they've evolved so little. Education hasn't changed enough to prepare us for the world we live in today. In an era of autonomously driven electrical cars and vehicles capable of taking us to Mars, our education is the equivalent of a horse and carriage. And then there's the matter in how we earn our livings. And then there's the matter that how we earn our livings is changing profoundly and increasingly rapidly. Automation and artificial intelligence are affecting the future of work. And I'm not speaking only about factories where laborers are being replaced by robots. In addition, many of us are facing the need to switch from the structure of an office job to the volatility of the gig economy. And jobs that few of us might have imagined even 5 years ago have gained traction, while others are emerging this very moment that will affect the workplace in the coming years. All of this points us in the same direction. We must take charge of our own learning. If schools tells us what to learn, but not how to learn, then we need to do the rest of the work ourselves. If digital overload threatens to hijack our brains, then we need to use what we know about learning to reset the ground rules. If workplace is evolving with so much rapidly that we can never be sure of what work we will mean to us tomorrow, then only by taking complete control of our learning can we truly prepare for an unknowable future. Turn on the power. A quick, often told story. One day at a power plant, everything comes to an abrupt halt. All the machines go offline, the silence is deafening. The people running the plant are frantic, and after hours and hours, none of the workers can track down the problem. The head of operations is desperate at this point, so he calls the best local help he can find. The expert technician arrives and glances around the facility. He goes to one of the numerous beams among all the electrical boxes, opens one of them and stares at the various screws and wires inside. Turns one screw and like magic, everything starts working again and the plant comes back to life. The head of operations is so relieved, he thanks the technician and asks him what he owes him. The technician says $10,000. The head of operations is shocked. What do you mean $10,000? You were here for a few minutes. You turned one single screw. Anyone could have done that. I need an itemized bill, please. The technician reaches into his pocket, pulls out a notepad, scribbles a few seconds, and hands the other man the bill. The head of operations read it and immediately pays him. The bill read, turning screws $1, knowing which screw to turn $9,999. What's the lesson of the story? It's not that you have a screw to lose. The story illustrates two things. The first is how much added value a limitless mind can offer you and others. We've entered an expert economy in which brain power trumps brute strength, where what you have between your ears is your greatest wealth-creating asset. There are those who know that, and there are those who know and those who don't know. And that applied knowledge is not just power, it's profit. Your ability to think, solve problems, make the right decisions, create, innovate, imagine is how we add value. The faster you can learn, the faster you can earn. And that takes us to the second lesson, that one screw made all the difference. I've mentored and coached some amazing minds, and you don't have to be a genius to see that genius lives clues. One of those patterns is that lit mental performers filter and focus for those handful of screws that make all the difference and turn everything else on. This book is filled with many of the behavior tools and strategies I've discovered to give you the maximum results and rewards for your effort. The world is throwing more challenges at you than ever before, and there's every indication that those challenges will continue to increase. At the same time, there is more to be gained from having a finely tuned brain than ever before. And you know that you have more than enough potential to meet any challenge. But it's going to require taking control of your learning. It may seem as if it would take superhuman capabilities to keep up with the demands of our current reality, but you already have a hidden superpower, your brain. You may not be able to shoot webs from your hands, but you have something far better than neural webs in your head. That superpower plant of a network between your ears is your greatest gift and greatest adventure. All we have to do is upgrade your brain the same way you upgrade your phone. How do you install new software into your brain? One of my favorite ways is what you're doing right now. It's called reading. I not only use all the brains that I have, but all that I can borrow.